So I slept on the floor for 30 days and it completely changed my life. Now, don't get me wrong, I still love my soft, warm, comfy bed. I mean, who doesn't? But there's always one problem. Every morning after waking up, I'll still be tired, no matter how much sleep I got. So you can imagine that when I heard that sleeping on the floor could have me waking up way more refreshed, I was in. So I got my hot glued yoga mat, my blanket, and my pillow, and I got to it. The first night was a little rough as I expected. I didn't get a ton of sleep, but I still woke up feeling weirdly refreshed, as if I got like a full 9 hours of sleep. I didn't feel tired at all. It was as if I woke up after being massaged for 8 hours straight. If you've ever used one of those foam rollers, it was exactly like that. It's like I used that for like 9 hours. The second night went a lot better than the first, and I woke up feeling wonderful. And the third and fourth nights, they went great. I got a full night's of sleep and I woke up feeling like I was ready to get at it. Now from here, I realized that this was a really powerful tool. You're telling me I could sleep less and also wake up feeling like I was on top of the world? Like, waking up at 5:30 was no issue. Like, not at all. I was waking up feeling great, ready to get at it, and I was still sleeping the same amount I was before. During my morning runs, I felt a lot more elastic, stretched out, ready to go. And one really important thing, like one scientific fact that I can bring in here that I know I measured, before I could not touch my toes right after I woke up. That was no issue whatsoever after I started sleeping on the floor. Something that no one really tells you though is sleeping on the floor, it kept me hungry. Not literally as to where my stomach is growling, but it's kind of like that inner fuel. Like when you're waking up at 5:30 in the morning, it's dark outside, no one's awake, you don't really want to do this, right? That's what keeps you going. When you're doing something as primal as sleeping on the floor, like something my ancestors did thousands of years back, it makes you feel like a beast, like a caveman, like filled with testosterone, ready to run, get after it. Now, after this challenge ended, I gave myself sort of a rest day. I just let myself sleep on the bed, And after I woke up from this day where I slept on the bed, I did not feel like taking my daily cold shower whatsoever. I was all nice, warm, cozy, The floor, if you don't know, it's a lot colder and harder than a normal bed. So I got out of there, I was all warm, like, why not take a warm shower, right? Why take a cold shower? I took a look back on this and I was like, man, you're not determined at all. Like a complete 180 from when I was sleeping on the floor. When I woke up from these nights where I was sleeping on the floor, I was extremely determined because I already did something extremely hard the entire night. So when I wake up, something like a morning run seems easy to me almost, right? I actually set some running PRs in this period, which is very surprising to me considering I'm on the bulk. And obviously as you get heavier, you don't really run as fast. By week 2, setting my mat up at night and going to sleep, it was not a problem at all, and it felt like my regular bed. It was a habit at this point. Now most people would think that, every morning rolling up your mat, putting it away, this would take a lot of time out of your morning routine. In fact, I found it gave me 10 to 15 minutes in mine. I now could get through my entire routine really fast, as I was refreshed, a complete change from before when I was sleeping in the bed. Now by week 3, I was in the full swing of things and waking up was no problem at all. One of the most important things I noticed at this point were the long-term benefits. One of them, for example, was my back becoming way more relaxed. Now, I don't know if this was the school chair's fault or whatnot, but I hadn't noticed that I hadn't been relaxing into my chairs until this point. Sleeping on the floor relaxes your body, taking away a ton of stress. Now, as weird as it sounds, I could start to feel many more random places in my body as they relaxed. For example, my upper back, the one we were just talking about, as I relaxed into my chair, I could feel the very little parts of my back. Same thing with like my legs, more parts of my hamstrings. It was like if you played video games, my character was like being leveled up and I unlocked new abilities. And finally, it was time for day 30. I still had one question I was a little curious about, because usually every night I would be getting around 7 to 8 hours of sleep, and I never really tested the limits like I did sometimes on some, lazy weekends, and say, let's get 12 hours of sleep, right? So that's exactly what I did for this final day. I slept 12 hours on the floor to see if anything different would happen from sleeping on the bed. Going to sleep, it was like my bed at this point. It was really nothing. So as soon as I woke up, I went and documented my results. So I woke up and I felt really energized, but the problem was on joints in my body, like my knees and my toes, and I believe my elbow too. They were hurting, and some of them were red. As soon as I got up, that went away, but I believe that certain hurting was caused by the blood flow not going there properly. So as long as you sleep a reasonable amount, you should be alright. After this, I went and cranked out this entire video in just less than an hour. So while sleeping and waking up feeling more refreshed, there's not really any direct correlation above, let's say, getting 8 hours of sleep. There is possibly a chance of getting into deep work stage a lot easier. I'd say, just like sleeping in a bed, waking up feeling more refreshed is like an exponential curve while you're sleeping on the floor. So if you're sleeping 4 hours and then you sleep one night, let's say 6 hours, that's a crazy jump. You'll see immense health and mental benefits. But if you're going from 7 to 8 or 8 to 9 hours of sleep, you won't see as many results as related to waking up feeling more refreshed. And in fact, Matthew Walker talks more about this in his book, Why We Sleep. It's actually a really good book. I recommend it. Not sponsored or anything, but he goes more into depth on waking up more refreshed, getting a better night's of sleep, and whatnot. Now, I went into this challenge thinking that I would have woken up a lot more refreshed and gotten a better night's of sleep, which I did. But that's not the reason why I'm making this a change in my routine permanently. In fact, that reason was I woke up every single morning feeling a lot more grateful for what I already have. When you take away simple necessities in your life, like a bed, you start to feel a lot more grateful for what you already have. There's that saying, you don't realize the value of something until you don't have it. And that's exactly how I felt. And while only my bed was taken away, this gratefulness expanded to every single area of my life. I began telling my friends how much I appreciate them. I began being grateful for every single meal that I ate. I began being grateful for life itself, which is honestly really underrated these days. We don't really find time to do that. In fact, I want you to do this with me right now. Close your eyes. Close your eyes. Don't be sneaky now. And think of 3 things you're grateful for. I'm grateful for my shirt. I'm grateful for my water bottle. Right here. I'm grateful for my family. Doesn't that feel great? I mean, really. That feels great, right? This is why it's the most important thing I took away from this challenge. Aside from the physical, mental, all the other benefits, right? Waking up feeling more refreshed. This has by far been the most important challenge I've ever done in my life. And I believe you should try it too.